Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Let me just check in with my team. Are we live on Facebook and YouTube? Let me just get the thumbs up here. So happy to welcome everyone on this Friday afternoon. They're just giving me a quick check. Yep. So we'll see. Just hang out here with me for just a minute and we're going to get started. I just don't want to start delivering this great content I have planned for you until I get the thumbs up that we're live on both channels. But welcome, everybody. Hi, Sherry. So glad. This has been so, okay, here we are. We're live on both. Thank you so much, Lynn. Sherry, thank you. I've had a fantastic week. I have to tell you, I have enjoyed this Masterclass so much, so you know that more will be coming in the future because I've really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed just doing it on StreamYard. So we've got a very exciting day 5 for you. Oh, thank you, Sherry. That is so, wow, that's made the whole week worth it. Wow, thank you. That is the best news of all. Fantastic. For everyone who's on Facebook, if you could please give StreamYard permission to show your name, because we want to see the name on those comments. I just have a Facebook user who just said, Joy, this has been great. I've learned so much. So if you could just give StreamYard permission, they will show your name, because today is another giveaway day. Okay, we have big prizes coming. So make sure that you give StreamYard permission. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, we can see your comments. So get them coming. Keep them coming. All right. So we're going to have some giveaways in a little while. I have 2 amazing women who are living every day, striving and thriving in an aligned life in their business and in their life. And I'm going to share them both with you very soon. But first, I want to just go through a recap of the week and talk with you about some things that have been on my mind. So we're going to do a recap, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about goal setting. Then I'm going to welcome on my 2 guests who are just amazing women. I can't wait to share with you. And then I've got something really great to share with you before we end this day 5 class. So just something I've really been thinking about. So let's take a look at these last 5 days. We know that there are 3 steps to align, right? Awareness, ask, and action. And on Monday, we opened it up with step 1, which is really the foundation of alignment, and that is the awareness. And remember that awareness is the knowledge and the understanding that something is happening inside of you. And what that means is it's happening uniquely inside of you, not somebody on my team, not my neighbor, not my significant other, not my sister. It's happening uniquely inside of me. And that's where we need to be taking direction for our life. We need to take direction in our life from what's happening inside of us, because we all have a fantastic intuition. And you know, I have interviewed hundreds, I don't know exactly, hundreds of women on my podcast, and they all say that their inner knowing, that intuition, is really the piece that has driven them to their next level of greatness. And the first step to that is the awareness. Okay. I want to give you a little different way of looking at it today. And hey, Karen Barno, yes, I see your comments. We're so happy to have you here. So let's keep them coming. Love the comments on everything you're learning today, or any aha you've had, any observation. So I want to talk a little bit, give you another example of awareness, because sometimes I think, because we're all unique, I want to give you as many ways as I can possibly think of to even bring it home for you a little bit more. The words that were coming up for me today as I was doing it was like a walking meditation here, a little hike, were detecting versus designing. Just go with me on this for a minute. Detecting versus designing. So a lot of times what we do is we want to design our lives or our businesses for the very next phase, right? We're in a rush to do that. I need a new program. I need a new product. I need a new plan. I need this. I need that, right? I get it. I've been there so many times. But what came up for me this morning, that's right, intuition rules the world. It is so true. That's why women rule and will continue to rule the world. So detecting versus designing. And what came up for me is I don't see it as much in California, but when I would go and visit my mom in Florida, it just seemed more popular there. You know how you would sometimes see people on the beach and they have those, it's like a long stem with a little round piece on the bottom, and they're walking around in the sand detecting. They're trying to find if there's metal there. I think they're looking for money or coins. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. Those metal detectors. I used to see people looking, and they'd pick up quarters and nickels and dimes, and they'd put them in a bag. But they'd be going through the sand on the beach when I would go down to visit my mom in South Florida. And it got me to thinking this morning about detecting. See, we have to detect. That's another word for awareness. And I'm giving you other ways to process it in your mind. You've got to detect before you can design. And that's why we have awareness as the foundational step in getting aligned. Because once you detect, you practice that awareness of what's going on inside of you, then you can start designing. Okay, so I thought of that this morning. It came to me when I was out walking. By the way, I know it's May 20th, and you're probably thinking, what in the world is Joy doing with this big, thick, heavy cable knit sweater? It's snowing in Park City right now. I put a little video on my stories. It's snowing and it's like 33 degrees here. But you know what? I love it. I love it. I am so happy to be here in this snow. And I know Karen Barno is like, Joy, you are crazy, because she's a beach lover. Anyway, so that's why I have this sweater on May 20th. So that's awareness, understanding. And this is something we have to practice every single day. And I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit. Okay. Okay. There, Gail, thank you. Looking for jewelry. Okay. Maybe that's what they're doing. I used to see them picking up coins, but yes, looking for jewelry. There you go. Love it. Celestina, it is so good to see you here from Poland. Love it. Love it. You need my new book. All right. We'll talk about that later. These are such great comments. So let's talk. That was Monday. Let's talk about Tuesday. Tuesday was the ask. Once we're aware, once we've detected what's going on inside of us and what we really want to happen and what we want to design for our business, we can then ask ourselves those essential questions, right? What are we no longer willing to wait on because we're waiting for the right time? There is no right time. There will never be a right time to do anything. You just make up your mind, you make the plan as far as you can see forward, and you go for it. Same thing with, I've been waiting to do this. I really want to do it, but I don't know how, right? I don't know how. Well, it's time to take steps on that too, because you take a step, if you make a mistake, you course correct. No more waiting on because I don't know how to do something. So that's the other thing I wanted to impress upon you today. The time is now. And I have some more before we end this. So stay on with me the whole time. I've got some very valuable information for you before we end this live stream. On Wednesday, we started talking about putting that vision into a plan, creating a vision for what matters most, right? And then yesterday, we talked a lot about this quarterly goal setting. So I do want to jump in for just a minute and talk about the goal setting, because remember, this is the thing that is going to help you get the most out of this week. Once you do the awareness and the ask, is the goal setting. And remember, what are the 3 things we have to do to reach our goals? And so this is knowledge that you've got now that you can take for the rest of your life. And that's what I love about it. Anytime you're not getting to where you want to go, you stop and ask yourself these 3 questions, and I will promise you might have fallen down on one of them. But here we go. Number 1, you have to write it down. Goals that are written down are 42%. The research shows they're 42% more likely to happen, right? It's pretty amazing. So writing it down, and you've got your workbook there, you can write it down. Number 2, once you write that goal down, you need to tell someone. You need to talk with someone else, whether it's your coach, your best friend, another colleague. But here's the thing. You want to tell someone who's a champion of yours. You want to tell someone who's a champion of other people, someone who's growth oriented, who's goal oriented, who always believes that you should be reaching for the next brass ring in your life. That's who you want to tell. You want to refrain. I'm going to invite you not to tell anyone who seems to always be what I'll call in a downward spiral, right? Someone who just seems like no matter what, the world is getting ready to come to an end. The sky is falling. That's not a great person to tell your goals to. You know why? Because they're going to poke holes because it's in their nature. So that's why it's great to be in this community, the Finding Joy Everyday community, because it's filled, chock full of positive women who are looking to create their next level of greatness. So that's number 2, write it down, tell someone who's a champion. And number 3, break it down into bite-sized pieces. And that's why we gave you that quarterly goal sheet in your workbook. I think it's on page 13, because you can't just write a goal down and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then that's it, right? You have to break it down. And I'm going to take you through a visualization exercise in just a little bit. And I'm going to give you a very specific example of something that I had visualized and how that came to pass, how that worked out, and why I'm sitting here in Park City right now. So we're going to get to that, but I want to keep going with this first. So breaking it down, because see, in order to reach a goal that's worth having, that's worth achieving, you have to take action daily, weekly, and monthly. Daily, weekly, and monthly, right? And so I think I gave you the example yesterday. I'm just going to really dial it back. I said, if you only took an action 3 days a week, let's say one action 3 days a week, that's 3 actions in a week. So you took 2 days off during the week and the whole weekend off, right? You'd still have 12 actions towards your goal in a month. Do you think something amazing is going to happen in your business and in your life if you took 12 action steps per month to make something happen? I'm here to tell you that your life will change dramatically. Your life will change dramatically. So you think, well, gosh, Joy, I wonder why I haven't, maybe you're not doing that right now, or why I haven't done that. I'll tell you why. And here's the biggest reason why. The biggest reason why is because of fear. We give in to the voice of fear. There are a lot of different reasons, but right now, the one I'm going to talk most about is fear. And so that's why you want to stay connected to really positive people in your community, right? That's really important. Let's see what Katri, I'm a list person, daily goals. Yes. And really eating that frog for breakfast. But on your list, remember your top 3 high value priorities are what you're working towards. What I always say in our Monday Align community is, first of all, what are your top 3 high value priorities that you want to accomplish by 4:00 this Friday? We have a meeting every Monday where we journal in stillness, because we cannot do it all. And as a matter of fact, we shouldn't do it all. We should be, listen, ladies, you're change makers. That's why you've been here every day this week. If you're a change maker and you're here to make an impact, and I know you are, you have to say no more than you say yes. I'm going to repeat that. If you really want to realize and live into and lean into these goals that you have to say no more than you say yes, which means that you have to get over the feeling of, but I might disappoint someone. You are going to disappoint a few people. I've been in Park City. Today marks 2 weeks, and I'm going to be here 1 more week. Obviously, I have a very understanding husband. He was with me at the beginning. He was with me here over Mother's Day, and he stayed with me, for a little while, but then he went back to Los Angeles, and he's coming back next week to round out the week with me. But let's face it, ladies, how many husbands would say, yeah, just take off and go to Park City for 2 weeks. I'll just stay here by myself. Is he always happy about it? Probably not. Probably not always happy, right? But he has a lot of friends, and he obviously has a very busy business, and he has friends he gets together with, in the evening for dinner, guy friends that he's been friends with for years. So he's doing things, but you know what? He also understands that this is important to me. And if I was someone that was always trying to please, would I have done this? No. But I know that in order for me to make my impact, I wanted to actually be here to teach this masterclass, believe it or not. That was one of my driving forces. I wanted to be here. So start asking yourself, in order for me to make that impact that I want to make, in order to achieve that goal, what is it I need to be saying no to? Because I promise you, ladies, you don't need to be saying yes to more. It's the no part. It's the no part that we have to work on as women, right? I love this. I got away from the details of goals, would set a large goal, and that was it. Great, Karen. I love that. So again, yes, it's about breaking it down, but we can forget about that. We can move away from that, and we need to remember that everything has to be broken down. Here's a great example, that visual that you can really take in. It just came to me. Let's look at baking. You know, if you're a baker, you're not a baker, it doesn't matter, but you know this. If you're a baker, you know that there are a lot of steps in making something come to life in that oven, right? After you've put it together. But there are steps. There are steps, right? The famous French cooking phrase, you know, mise en place. Mise en place means everything in its place. You have to put the steps to put everything in its place so that you can follow along with your plan, right? To bake that cake or to bake that pie. It's not just throw it all in and just, you know, mix it up a little bit and then throw it in the oven. We've all tried that. Probably didn't work out so well. So it's just like anything else in life. It's about planning and putting things in place and knowing that you're going to have to course correct. Knowing that you're going to have to course correct over time, right? That's just part of it. It's kind of like today here in Park City. I went out with one jacket on, with one idea of how far I was going to go on my hike. And guess what? I got caught in a snowstorm. I mean, the hair is looking a little wild today because of that, but I got caught in a snowstorm because the weather changed. And that's why I've always said mountain weather and seasons are great for entrepreneurship. It's just a great metaphor because you never know what you're going to get up here. And so you just got to be ready, right, for everything. All right, fantastic. Love these comments. So I think you understand how important it is to take these 3 steps in goal setting. And if you do that, you are going to go farther than you ever imagined if you really do and share what I'm talking about. Okay. And remember, I said that I'm looking for more ambassadors. Thank you, Sherry. I'm looking for more ambassadors to find joy every day and to align and to share it with other women. And we have a great group. I mean, I'm not going to name them off right now, but we've got a lot of them right here in this live stream who are ambassadors already, you know, but we want more. We want more because we're on our way to that million mark, you know, over the next 5 years. So I want to now just take a minute. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I want to share one other thing with you, and then I want to introduce you to these 2 amazing ladies I have here in the green room. I want to talk a little bit with you about visualization and tell you my shortcut. And then after you hear from these 2 other ladies, I'm going to share some other great tips for you to take into this weekend, to take into the weeks ahead, in the months ahead. But real quick, let's talk about visualization, because I think this is also very important to realizing your goals. So we talked about those 3 things that you have to do, the 3 components. It's like your recipe for goal setting success, those 3 steps. But let's talk about visualization. And I want to tell you a shortcut, because I don't know, has anybody here ever created a vision board? If you have, just love to see your comments in the chat. Vision boards are amazing. I have created them many times throughout my career and my life. And I will tell you that they really do work. They really do make things happen. Every time I've ever created one, I found later on, as I looked at that vision board and viewed it often, I would see those dreams come true. Big part of why I'm here with you today was a vision board that I created 18 years ago. All right. So, but I want to give you a shortcut, because here's the thing. Yeah, Gail says, yes, she's done them. They do help. But let me give you a little shortcut, because we're all busy. Because if I said to you right now, if I said, okay, ladies, what you need to do is you need to tonight or tomorrow, go to the art store and buy all the supplies and create your vision board. You know what? How many of you would have time to do that? Well, probably none of you. So what? So we don't get to utilize this beautiful action step. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it in a very easy way. It's going to take you a couple minutes. You take your phone, okay, you take your phone and you open it up and you create an album. You go to your photos and you create an album in your photos. And you name that album. That album becomes this goal, this dream, this thing that you're no longer going to wait for, this thing that maybe you don't know how it's going to happen, but you're committed to making it happen. You're aligned with this. So this is your goal. This is your vision board, but it's on your phone. And so what you do is you start adding images to this album. So it could be photographs, it could be photos that you've taken. It could be images that you see online, stock images that you take a picture of and you put in your photo album. Whatever it is, it's an album for your dream. It's an album that shows your dream happening. Let's say that your dream is to have, I know we have somebody here who really would like to have a place on the beach. So it's about what does it look like? What kind of a place do I want on the beach? Is it a condo? Is it a house? Is it one of those Cape Cod style places? I'm getting to my point here. Or maybe it's an exotic vacation. Well, where is it? Is it Fiji? Is it Bali? Is it Hawaii? I'm just making this up. What is it that you want to happen? And here's the thing about the vision board on your phone. You have to be really, really specific. Goals and dreams are realized when we're really, really specific. So I'm going to give you I'm just going to tell you, you know me by now after this, I'm so transparent. I don't even know if love's the right word. I just am mesmerized, have a visceral reaction to being in the mountains. But the mountains are everywhere, aren't they? They're the mountains of West Virginia, where I grew up. There are the mountains in Montana. There are the mountains in Tennessee, right? For me to visualize and really get what I want, I can't just say mountains, because that is not going to make it happen, ladies. I have to get specific in my visualization. So on my visualization board, my vision board in my phone, I have pictures and images that were very specific to the terrain here in Park City. Now, why did I choose Park City? I love Colorado. God, I love Colorado. I love Montana. I've been to Montana. I love Montana. But let me tell you, I had 3 specific parameters that had to be met to spend time in Park City and to bring my family, not just by myself. I want my whole family here. So listen to this. And this was in my pictures, in my vision. Number 1, it needed to be 90 minutes, either by plane back to Los Angeles or a less than a 15-hour drive. To see how specific that is, has to be 90 minutes from Los Angeles, which is 1 plane flight, no change of planes. And secondly, about a 15-hour drive. That was specific. The second parameter was, because I wrote this down, I love aspen trees. You can see one and see the photo behind me. I love aspen trees. Well, guess what? You may not know this. Aspen trees are only indigenous to Colorado and Utah. Like, you might see a few aspen trees in other parts, other states, but not like here. They're everywhere in those 2 states. So I wanted to be where there were aspen trees. And number 3, what's the last one? I need to be 30 minutes, a 30-minute drive from a major medical center. Why? Because my husband has polycystic kidney disease. Okay. We can't be out in a place where where there's nothing going on, and I love the wilderness, but you just can't have that and really take care of my family. So I have to think about my family. So we had to be 30 minutes. Well, Salt Lake City provides that. They have everything we need, and they're about a 30-minute, car ride away. Is this making sense? Is it hitting home? Okay. So you've got to be specific about what you want and put pictures of that in your vision board, in your album on your phone. And then, okay, you do that. Now what do you do? After you practice your 15 minutes of awareness, which I'm going to review with you after you hear from these 2 amazing ladies, after you practice that, You want to go look at your vision board every morning. Just open up your album and just scroll through and look at your pictures and think, what's a step that I can take today to make that happen? I do believe in my heart and soul that I am here in Park City right now because of all these things I'm telling you. If I just sat around and said, gosh, I really love Park City, like to go visit that a little bit more often, I wouldn't be here. So I'm telling you, I only talk about what I've done. I never talk about what I haven't done because that wouldn't be fair to you. That's theory. I only talk about what I know works, and I tell you all the time about all the stuff that doesn't work. All right. So now I want to take a couple of minutes and share these amazing women with you. These are women who get up every single day and they're committed to their awareness. They're committed to their ask and their action. And do they make mistakes? Do they fall down? Gosh, yes, they would tell you. But they are committed to personal growth and they have had a ton of success because of it in their business. So the first person that I'm going to bring on is Michelle Shriver. Let's see here. Ah, there she is. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Joy?
I'm great.
Good.
So for everybody, I have known Michelle for quite a long time. And she's been a client, she's a friend, and she's just an amazing woman who's had, she's had great success, not only in the corporate world, but in the entrepreneurial world. So I'd just love for you, Michelle, to share a little bit about that for a few minutes.
Oh, sure. It's been quite a journey. And when I first met Joy, I was, I was an entrepreneur at the time. I had been a corporate person. I'd been in corporate America for many years, basically since graduating from college. But I always had a drive to have my own business, to, kind of control my own destiny. But when I met Joy, I actually, I had 6 cafes at the time. And I actually had known of Joy well before that. Actually, when I was still in corporate America, I had known of Joy, but had not worked directly, with you, as you know. So I went from corporate America to owning 6 cafes to owning a hospitality recruiting company, because I've been in hospitality my entire career. Since graduating from college, that's where I started my career. That's where I still am today, is in the hospitality world. And so I thought, hospitality recruiting, I did that for a number of years. I actually had to step into a business that my husband purchased and owned, and had to run that. And it had to do with automotive performance parts, which talk about being out of your wheelhouse, but I know how to run a business. So that's what I did, and brought in, people that had the technical knowledge that I needed them to have. And thankfully was able to sell that business and get out of that crazy world that I didn't know a lot about. But I mean, it was fun for the time, but was not my dream and my goals. And then I have been a copywriter. I still do some of that today, not nearly as much as I would like to, because I also was consulting in the hospitality world and was offered a position. And so currently I accepted that position, and I'm now a full-time executive again in corporate America, which some people think I'm crazy. But everything has its seasons, and this is the season that I'm in right now. I know I will be an entrepreneur again because that's where my heart is. But this is fulfilling a goal that I had in terms of where I wanted to live. It is also rebuilding a nest egg that I've spent over the years, and so it's serving its purpose.
Yes, and so as always, with when I have these amazing women on, they're all very modest. Even yesterday, I had to. Michelle had what she hasn't told you is that she's had in her corporate career. She had a 7-figure executive corporate career for many years. She talked about the cafes. She was a very successful franchisee. I think one of the most successful in the franchise, if I remember correctly. So a lot of success and a lot of versatility, a lot of variety. She's also made yourself debt free. So, there's just a lot of amazing things that you've done in your life. So, Michelle, share with everyone a little bit about why you feel that being in a community of aligned women, and also, having a thinking partner, a coach through these times has been beneficial for you.
Sure. Great question, Joy. And when I first started working with you, what was important to me at the time was I really wanted to work with someone who had done what I wanted to do. And then, and so I knew other entrepreneurial women, because I had been part of, ever since, but even before I was an entrepreneur, but I knew that is where I wanted to go. I joined different organizations or groups where these types of women, it was almost always, groups of women. But I actually had a male coach, and there were other males in the group at one point. But there's just something about being aligned with people that think and believe, and are looking to accomplish the same goals and with that same mindset. So when I had heard of Joy, I actually had two very successful women that I had been in a group with that said, both of them said, you need to talk to Joy. They talked about what Joy had done in their businesses. And so I knew that I wanted to work with someone one-on-one to really help me get focused, to stay aligned. So I wanted someone that had done what want to do. And, Joy left, the working world, started her own business, started another business. So I've since followed in your, serial entrepreneur footsteps, Joy. But also that came just highly recommended in, people, with people that said, this person has made my business, significantly grow. And then the other thing too is it helps me to get out of the weeds. It helps me to take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Keeps me focused. I mean, you're a planner. I just wanted to show you. Here is my, you can't really see it, can you? But this is my online, beach home photo album, right? That I do look at. And so, someone who is going to help me stay focused and accomplish the goals that, I want to accomplish. And frankly, I need someone to ask me the hard questions. I need someone who's going to tell me what I need to hear versus what maybe I want to hear. Right now, especially in corporate America, I am surrounded by people that want to tell me what I want to hear. They want to, they want to keep me happy. They want to, they want to, ensure that they're in my good graces, and, because I'm an executive in a large company. And so they're not going to tell me always, I have a few actually trusted, employees that will come to me and give me feedback. Right. But I need someone in my life that, that is just going to be honest with me and help me to look at things differently. And frankly, I really liked what you said earlier, Joy, someone who's a champion for me in a sea of people. When I left corporate America and went into, owning, these cafes, people thought I was crazy, literally thought, what in the world are you doing? You are giving up a 7-figure income to run low margin, high volume, high drama, businesses. And I needed someone, in my corner who is going to continue to champion me. And then when I was ready to get out, Joy was the one who said, okay, we're going to put a date to this. We are going to have, we're going to create those steps, step by step. And we are going to, this is, look at what you need to do to get this done. And here's what's crazy is, so we set dates I had cafes in 2 states. So it's going to be 2 different transactions. So we set by this date, I'm going to be out. And by that date, I'm going to be out of the other state. And it happened literally, it was actually reversed. One happened before the other, but it was in the same months that it was all supposed to happen. And when we set those dates, we didn't have the plan yet. I just hadn't. We had started to develop that plan, and then sure enough. So yes, writing your goals down and actually being very specific about it. It's just like you said. And I couldn't see that path. I couldn't see, how am I going to get there, and how am I going to get there so quickly? Like, really? And here we are.
And here we are. I love that. I remember that time so well. You're taking me back now. Is there any last thing that you would like to share with these women who are really, obviously they've spent this week with us, they're ready to align. Is there any last comment that you'd like to share with them before you go?
I guess that, the best investment you will ever make in your business is by investing in yourself. And so whether I felt like I had the resources at the time or not, I knew I needed that investment in myself and working with a business coach. And so I just thank you, Joy, for being there and being that person for me. And it is absolutely the best investment I have ever made in my businesses and accomplishing my goals and that what I want to do. And even in my current career, in having that voice and that, the prompting and the guidance and the hard questions and, helping me brainstorm answers. There is no better investment.
Thank you. Yeah, we've worked together a long time. We've laughed together. We've cried together, haven't we? We've had all the emotions, because that's what it means to be an entrepreneur. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come and talk with this group. And I'll be talking to you very soon.
Yes,
okay.
You will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Amazing, right? Amazing. Now I want to share Becky Happick with you. I have known Becky for, should I really even say? My gosh, so many, I mean, over 25 years, let's just say that.
Yeah.
And we have worked together. We've been in a business together. We've done so much together, but I want to share her with you because she is really someone who I would say just strives to always be in alignment and to always thrive and always course corrects. So Becky, tell everybody a little bit about your business background.
So my business background, how I met Joy, was in a women's networking group. And more of the entrepreneurial part, even though I always had what I called a paycheck job. But my heart was always being an entrepreneur. And to this day, I still have my career paycheck job, and I'm still an entrepreneur. And my motivation has always been to always better myself, just to be better and to be around other women that are strong and successful. Because it is so true, iron sharpens iron. So all these little cliches that you hear and things, there's a reason why we've heard them and know about them, because it's so true. So Joy was very successful, and I wanted to be like her and followed her into a entrepreneurial different direction, and it was great. And then my personal life fell apart. After being married 24 years, I decided to divorce my husband because overnight I found out I was bankrupt and many other things. So she was there to pick up the pieces and said, "Don't worry, we're going to do this and you're going to be successful and I'm going to help you." And her husband was there and, don't worry. So I trusted her, and look where we are today. So on to another entrepreneurial venture this past few years.
Yes.
So this awareness that you're talking about, doing the journaling, having Nora with us for a short time and doing things with us also, I thought, I can't do that. I'm not a sit still person. When somebody was doing yoga way back in the day, no, I was doing jazzercise. I'm an action figure. I cannot sit still. And for somebody to say to journal and to sit and have 5 minutes of silence, I thought, how am I ever going to do this? But again, we have to be a sponge. We have to learn. You have to be self-taught, right? And you got to follow in the footsteps of the leaders if that's where you're going to go, if that's going to be your goal, right? So that's what I did. And from that, I'm learning to say no more often, which is huge for me because I'm a pleaser and I'm a yes person. And I shared that with someone else this week after you talked about that, I believe on our Tuesday class. I said to her, you are a pleaser. You always say yes, just like I do. I want you to start practicing to tell people, can I get back to you? May I get back to you on that? And that she just looked at me and somebody else said, that's helping you, isn't it? I've seen now you're doing that. I said, yeah, it really is helping me. So to really be aware is about being quiet and being still, going with your gut, thinking about why does this keep bothering me? Why does this idea keep popping into my head? Why is this keep coming back to me? It's because we need to act on it. And if you can't, you're never going to make a mistake if you don't try it. And what if it happens? You've got a 50-50 chance. I always tell my team at work, we have a 50-50 chance. All we have to do is ask. It's about what you said, being aware and ask, and then you do the action. But do what you've always taught us to do too. Do the course correct. So if you try it, doesn't work, you do the course correct. And it really helped me in my life to be around these successful women, hear their stories. I just learned new things about Michelle. I thought I knew Michelle pretty well, but I didn't. So it was fun to hear Michelle's life story and some things that I didn't know about her. Because she is, most women are very humble about what they've accomplished and what they've done. So I really want to thank you for our Align group and our Monday morning. We're small but mighty in the Monday morning group. And it is the best way to start your day. So when I'm not on our Monday day, what I do is I go ahead and I set my timer for, in the beginning, 5 minutes and then 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll do 10 minutes, but I have to start my day that way where I'm quiet and reflective. And whether you're doing prayer or meditation, I always ask, what am I supposed to learn today? Well, who am I supposed to help today? Because in my world of seniors, I work with seniors. I work for a national home care agency, and it's what I do. I have a passion to help others, and it just happens to be the senior quadrant right now in my life, and it has been. It's been a passion of mine for many years that I've been doing it, and I love it, to help others and make the best years of their life, the quality years, the last chapters of their life. So that it's all about making every year, breaking it down, like you said, bite size, those goals, every quarter, every month, every day, waking up and making it, let's make this the best chapter. Today might be the best chapter in my life. I don't know what awaits, what's going to happen today. I have no idea, but it's waking up with that purpose, with passion, and with knowing it's going to be a great day. And if it turns out that it's not, because the world can be ugly, we all know that, the times that we live in, you just have to understand, I'm going through this challenge in life. I'm going through this change in life to be able to help someone else. There's somebody else that I can help because I've gone through the experiences that I've gone through in my life. And that's about giving back. And that's where you have real purpose and meaning. When you're able to take that ugly part that happens in your life, the sad part that happens in your life, turn it around, make it a positive, and be there to hold somebody else's hand through their struggles.
Yes. Wise words indeed. And So what I want to share with you about Becky is that she's in healthcare, but she's an award-winning executive in healthcare. She's won many awards in her industry. And she's always the first one there every Monday morning for stillness and journaling. I can always count on Becky, 6:59. We start at 7 a.m. She's always there. And she has just continued to grow from it. So it's just been wonderful to have you and wonderful to continue to have that. And just so glad you were able to come on and share your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and asking me to share.
You are welcome.
Very dear friend and special businesswoman to all of us. And we appreciate you and love you for everything that you've done to help all of us to be successful too. Thank you.
Aw, thank you, Becky. All right. I'll be talking to you very soon, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Amazing, right? Don't you want to just be around women like Michelle and Becky, and then yesterday, Jen and Bibi every day, all the time? You know why? Because every day, these are the women who are waking up and they're saying, what can I lean into today to make myself better, to help my community, to help my business, to help make an impact? These are the kind of women you want to surround yourself with. And I know we've had a few people reach out about our Align Platinum 180 program. If you are interested, please do reach out to Kathy so we can see if this is a fit for you. Lynn and Kathy can get you the link for that if you don't have it, and we can send it out later today. There are amazing bonuses that are available right now through next Wednesday, May 27th. And one is the beautiful Park City Mountain Retreat, which, believe me, will transform your business and your life as you go into the next phase. So if you're interested in having that one-to-one mentorship and coaching with me, also seeing all the women that you've heard that you've met this week on this here in this live stream, they're all in the Align community. So, and there are many more besides the 4 that, we just can't have everybody, but I'll tell you, every single one, Gail's there. Everybody is there. Mickey's there. So there's so many women in that community. And you see, that's your champion part of your goals. I'll take a sip of, I just can't, I'm looking outside, you guys. I'm not going to turn the camera around. It is pouring down snow. It's hilarious. And I love it. Anyway, so if you would like to have that hybrid component of one-to-one mentorship and coaching weekly, where you and I talk weekly, plus access to these amazing women weekly, our ambassadors, then think about the Align Platinum 180 and let us know. Now, before we close today, I want to get back to what you should be looking for big picture as we finish up this masterclass. So we talked about the goal setting. We talked about setting up the vision board in your phone. Now, I want to talk about, again, Becky alluded to it, but I want to talk about it every day. I want you to write this down. Every day, if you really want this to happen, you've got to set aside 15 minutes in your calendar or in your day. You have to set aside 15 minutes. My recommendation is do it as soon as you wake up, unless if you have young children at home, then you may need to alter that and do it after you drop kids at school. I want to say that right up front, because listen, when my kids were still at home, they're in college now, I had to do this. Well, I'm a really early morning person, so I actually did do it before my kids went to school, but I'm not even going to tell you what time I got up because I don't want to scare you. But I'm an early morning person. But this can also happen after you take the kids to school. And if you take the kids to school and you have a corporate job, you could do it in your car after you take the kids to school before you go into the office. This is not prescriptive. Okay, you can do this any way you want, but you need 15 minutes a day. What are you going to do for 15 minutes? This is what we do in our Align community every Monday morning at 7 a.m. to kick off the week. You're going to do 5 minutes of stillness. 5 minutes of stillness. Then the next 5 minutes, you're going to journal. You're going to journal about, it could be about what's, your top priority for the day. You could be journaling about this big goal or dream you have. You could be journaling about fear. What am I fearful of and how do I move through it? You could journal about forgiveness. Am I holding on to some sort of a trauma? that I'm not forgiving someone for, because that will also hold you back from reaching the goal. Lack of forgiveness it's really hard to get to your goals, to reach the pinnacle of the greatness that lives within each one of you if you're holding a grudge. So we need to just let go. Okay, we need to work on that. So journaling for 5 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes is what? It's your ask and action. It's your ask and action. What am I going to take action on today? And write down an action step. It's not enough just to sit in awareness. It's not enough to just journal, but from that awareness process, whether it's stillness, prayer, meditation, you can do a walking meditation. There are all kinds of ways. The journaling. What did I get from that I need to take action on today? And for those of you who have the Finding Joy Planner, you can write it down. There's a space for it. Okay. We're also including that as a bonus in the 180-day Platinum program. Now, that's 15 minutes. And this is a ritual. This isn't something that you just did every day this week. I want you to take this, and I want this to become part of your, it's like taking a shower or brushing your teeth, right? I told you I wouldn't leave the house without it. It's like a mask for me. I wouldn't leave the house without my 15 minutes. I would feel very unprepared for the day. So I want you to look at that. It's like breathing, it's like breathing, this 15 minutes. So I want you to write that down and commit to it. Now, so that's what you do every day. Let me just look at my notes here. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. No. All right. So every day we need to practice that 15 minutes of awareness, ask, and action. And for those of you who have the Finding Joy candle, the Finding Joy Everyday candle, it's always nice to have that candle. Light your candle. Find a place, if you're going to do it at home in the morning, find a place in your home that's inspiring. For me, I like to always be near a window because I like to look out at nature. Light your candle and do your awareness, ask, and action. When you do this, I'm telling you that your life is going to change. This is something that's going to change your life if you do it consistently every single day. And we've already heard some of the results. Some of you have reported already just this week the changes you've had. But I don't want you to stop doing it just because this class is over. I want you to keep doing it. Okay? All right. So before we end today, we're almost finished with the class. I have loved it. I'm so glad you're part of the Finding Joy Everyday Facebook community because I'm going to be in there. It doesn't end after this class. I'll still be going in there. But I want to share something with you that I was thinking about this morning. I hope I don't get emotional, but I might. Don't be defined by what's happened so far in your life. I'm sure that you've had amazing things happen in your life, but I know you well enough because I know women. I've been working with women exclusively for 17 years. We tend to focus on what we haven't done. We tend to focus, just like, did you see how I had to bring out the celebrations and the accolades for Becky and Michelle? Because it's not that they don't know that they've done amazing things. They just think, well, I don't want to share that because that sounds kind of braggy and maybe ego. So you know what? I do it. Listen, if you're in my group, I'm constantly sharing. You wouldn't believe how I talk about my members. It's like you would think. I mean, I talk about these members like they have conquered the world because that's what I believe. That's what I believe. So don't be defined by what you have or have not done thus far in life. I want to give you a quick example. If you've watched the Harry Potter movies or you have read the books, I don't know if this will be good for you or not, but if you've watched the Harry Potter movies or you've read the books, here's what you know for certain. Snape, until the very last film, who was Snape? Snape was thought of to be a very bad person, right? Anybody who was a Harry Potter fan, every time you saw him on the screen or heard you even like had this, it's Snape, right? What did we find out in the last chapter, in the last segment of that movie? Snape was a good soul. Snape cared and loved more about Harry Potter almost than anyone. So we found out, we were defining Snape, but actually, don't let whatever's happened thus far define you. I hope this is making sense. All that matters is what you do next. Listen to me. All that matters right now, today, on May the 20th, is what you do next. It doesn't matter what you did before. It's about what you do next. Make sure that what matters most happens next. I'm going to say it again. Make sure that what matters most happens next. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that almost every day or many days, I post a picture of the sun coming up. You know why? Because every day is a new day. Every day is a chance to begin again. So let's not focus on what we haven't done. Let's focus on what matters most, the vision that you've created, the answers to the questions, and let's take action to make that happen next. Am I making sense? What happens next, right? What matters most needs to happen next. And that's really what I wanted to leave you with today. But before we end, I forgot, I've got to do the giveaway. Hold on, we've got giveaways. So today, we're going to give away more candles. You know why? Because this is part of the whole process. These candles, lighting your candle every morning. So let me go through here. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Let me go through here. So today, all right, you know what? I do this every time. I always say I'm going to do one thing, and I always do two. So today, the lucky winners of our candles are Katri Tiny and Karen Barno. All right. We've got 2 Finding Joy Everyday candles coming your way. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So again, our week-long class is over. I just feel like we've created such a community here. I have loved, I hope you can feel it coming through. I have loved spending every day with you this week. And my team has too. You know, they've been remarking when we get off the calls, oh my gosh, they're so nice. And their comments are so great. And, you know, they're learning. So we have loved spending the week with you. I know that I can speak on behalf of my team. And if you want to take this further, if you want to continue this feeling, if you want to be surrounded by this group, continuing with me personally and with the group as a group, please reach out and talk to us about the Align Platinum 180. I know several of you have reached out, and we're excited to speak with you about it, and excited to work with you. And stay connected through the Facebook group. I'll be in there. It's not ending because the class is ending. I'll be in there. And yes, thanks so much. So I want to wish you well. I want to wish you to align, and I hope you find, getting emotional. I hope you find more joy tomorrow than you did today, and all through next week, all through the next month, all this whole year. Okay. All right. So be well, stay aligned, and find your joy. Okay. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.